Hi, Susan. It's time for Thirsty Thursday, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about this week. I feel this was the week where progressive change was met with extreme backlash from the conservative right. So I know you experienced something to do with this as well this week. So let's start with talking about the Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, they announced they would no longer be publishing 6 titles due to inappropriate, racist kind of content. They've decided to stop publishing these 6 books. And you posted about this, didn't you? So tell us about your experience here.
I did. I got virtual body slammed by the far right, Will. It was a little bit shocking. I suppose I knew that there are people who don't like to see a view that's different than their own, but I just didn't. And that strangers pass by other people's profiles just to tell them they're wrong. But I fully experienced it, even with my tiny, insignificant network the last couple of days. So yeah, so the story is that 6 really old titles, and according to much of the reading that I've done, some of the more obscure titles from Dr. Seuss's lineup of books were pulled by the publishers themselves, by Dr. Seuss's estate. And they were pulled because a number of them had content in it that caricaturized and sort of represented people of color specifically in a way that was, just not acceptable in 2020. These books were written in 1937 or whatever it is. And, and I think the point of the thing, and let me tell you right here, people will be more upset by being called racist than actual racism is my experience. Most people are upset that Dr. Seuss is being called racist, right? So, but that said, one of the lines in I forget which of the books, it talks about people with slanted eyes and from countries whose names you can't pronounce. And like, I don't see how that's up for debate. Like that kind of talk is just not 2021 appropriate. So anyway, these books were pulled and the whole world, or at least the whole strange world that I know, came after me. I got called a Nazi because I was trying to ban books. I got told to stop gangster rap. I got, read a limerick called Racist Sham, written to the tune of Sam I Am. After some time, I stopped looking because it was.
That's. I think after a while, it's best to just stop paying attention to it. I'm sure at first you're so tempted just to respond back to them.
I was. Yeah. I did want to say that. I was like, "Oh my God, you're calling me a Nazi? Even your insults are white, you little."
Yeah. But yeah, it's so crazy how many people. And especially that right-wing news media in the States, it was like, how they love talking about the war on Christmas. It's kind of rallying that fear that the leftists, glitterati is coming for you to ruin your life and take away your freedom. That's how it's positioned. This has been weaponized by the right as a rallying cry again to fight liberalism and all the progressive ways that they want to force upon you.
Yeah, I know. It is quite, it's alarming, it's startling. And to be honest, this is the reason why for the last decade or so, when I've had some articulations in my head of how I'd like to say things, this is the reason I hide behind a screen and refuse to let anyone see what I look like or hear my thoughts, right? And it's like, yeah, I think being in circles where it's safe, where everyone has the same views is one thing, but when you take yourself out of those circles, that's when you truly get to see where we stand with some of the change that we assume is a given, right, in the world. Yeah.
And you also see how that those keyboard right wing hiding behind the keyboard and coming after you, it's like they're so organized. It's like one of them discovers what you've said and then it's like, tell everyone gang up. It's really crazy. Yeah. And this also does tie into another story we were going to talk about. Mr. Potato Head, the toy, they announced, was it last week they announced that they were just going to go as Potato Head, right? Taking the Mr. out of the name. And again, boy, did people come for them. And then I think, Susan, you were telling me that Hasbro's now pulled back a little bit and said, oh, we're just changing the name of the toy to Potato Head. You can still get Mr. and you can still get Mrs. Potato Head. Don't worry, don't fret, right? I think you were saying that.
Yeah. I think they originally started out saying, this is like a build your own potato head kind of thing. So you could choose whatever you wanted. And the intention behind it was really good. I think they were supported by data and various other things. And just quite simply the fact that families in 2021 don't look like what they did before. It's not a Mr. and a Mrs. and a boy kid and a girl kid. That's not how families look anymore. And that was their intention, which was an awesome one. And then I think they caught a lot of hate, like you said, where it was like, "Ooh, are you taking away like an institution? And I grew up with these toys," or whatever it is. And so now they've said quite clearly that the toys themselves don't go away. You could still buy a Mr. Potato Head. You could still buy a Mrs. Potato Head, but the brand name has changed to Potato Head.
Potato Head, a little step there happening. Okay, so let's turn to something delightful and fun. Dolly Parton yesterday, there's a video, if you go to her Instagram page, you can see the video. She's all dolled up as Dolly, and she's at the Vanderbilt Health Center in Tennessee getting a shot. They were saying Dolly gets a taste of her own medicine. You know, we reported on this back in the summer, or maybe it was the fall, that Dolly had actually donated $1 million to research to go towards vaccine, which is specifically the Moderna one. And so Dolly got a shot of the Moderna vaccine yesterday. Loved it because she sang that song that a fan had written called Vaccine, 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 Vaccine to the tune of Jolene.
Love it.
So that was awesome. Then also, she of course came with perfect little peekaboo cutouts on her shoulders, all glammed up, so she could get the shot on camera, which she did, and still look glamorous as Dolly should.
Yeah, I love that. It's all very on brand for Dolly. It's like, you know, all the pieces that you think through. Sometimes when you think brand, you don't really assume that it can apply to everything, but it really does. I think this was a good study. And for me, what stood out was the fact that whether Dolly thought about vaccine in the tune of Jolene herself or not, her fan club figured it out, and then now she's honored it by, you know, singing in her own way. So I really love that cheered me up. So between the hate mail, this was my upside.
Everybody go look up her Instagram and watch the short video that she posted. It's adorable.
We'll put the music on here.
Yeah. And then lastly, you were talking about live stream shopping, which is something I wasn't that familiar with.
Yeah, so this is an idea that's existed for a few years, but it's picking up a little bit of momentum right now, because this way of living in which you're not necessarily always going to be going into stores and whatever is continuing for a while. And shopping is one of the things that's been quite impacted by it, right? Like, I mean, not necessarily everyone is into the go look at something in a lineup of boxes and pick the box you want and the number you want. So this is a slightly more experiential way of shopping. The easiest way to sort of describe it is it's kind of like a shopping channel, except it's online. So it brings together your scrolling on your phone or whatever with this. To me, I think the part that stands out is that there's a fair amount of intent. Like if you go to these live stream things, you're probably looking for something to buy. You're in the market, quote unquote, for something, right? So when you run these live stream things, I think you're probably bringing in a group of people who are keen to buy, and that might be worth considering. So really just a trend worth thinking about, perhaps worth thinking about a bit more for B2C, but that said, any B2C principle can be applied to services and B2B as well. So cool. I was interested to see how that plays out. There's a few pieces that have been written, not a lot, a few pieces, one by Neil Patel, that talks it out quite well for brands to consider it.
Awesome. And before we go, of course, we always like to talk about our podcast, the 4 a.m. report, and the episode that we just put out earlier today. This week, I was so happy we had Marilyn Smith on. For those of you who don't know Marilyn, you might have seen her on Cityline or Breakfast Television. She's a professional home economist, a cookbook author, and the only person who can say she's a professional home economist and a Second City alum. We had her on to talk about educating, but also entertaining while educating, and how that's been such an effective tool for her over her career. She is known as the funniest home economist you'll find out there. It was a really great episode.
It's lovely. Well, all sorts of fart jokes.
Yeah, it goes to that 10-year-old sense of humor at some point in it. But honestly, I don't think I've laughed that much during a recording in a while. She's just naturally hilarious and lovely and smart. So you should check that episode out. It was a really good one. If you are looking to get your content noticed, we recommend trying to throw in a little humor or entertainment into your content.
Love it. So that's it right there, people. Thirsty Thursday.
Thanks, Susan. I'll see you soon, I hope.